I suspect that if you have watched and loved The Stupid Wife, you will love Gap the series. It has all the trappings of a typical telenovela, but instead of multiple storylines, it focuses uniquely on protagonist Mon and Sam and their love story. You all are watching it in droves according to my YouTube analytics, because yes, YouTube does let me know what you're watching, so I had to take a gander myself, and oh my, it's something. The show is a 12-episode weekly Thai soap that is airing late Saturday night on GMM1, as well as the YouTube channel Idol Factory Official in weekly installments. I've linked the playlist in the description. What's it about? Well, once upon a time, a young girl called Lady Sam, a descendant of royalty, saved Mon from being run over, smiles at her, and baby gay Mon instantly fell in love with her the way that baby gays do when a beautiful woman looks their way. Years later, all grown up, Mon idolizes her and has worked hard to get qualifications that allow her to join Lady Sam's company, Diversity, only to find that Lady Sam is nothing like the image she projects to the press. Instead of being kind and warm, she is cold and distant. Upon starting work at Diversity, Mon catches Sam's eye, and what ensues is a soapy, tension-filled back and forth between the women. We've got staple obstacles to spice up the tension, with the matriarchal grandmother who is pushing her to marry Kirk, her childhood friend and business partner, so she can pop out some babies, as a dutiful wife should. But the only baby Lady Sam wants to nurture is her fledgling company that is yet to turn a profit. She has negotiated another year's grace before she has to give it up. With that situation simmering in the background, Mon joins Diversity, and not only is Sam drawn to her, which is problematic because she has a very strict rule about employee fraternization, but Mon may just be the person to save the company. The conundrum. So, as far as premises go, it's a solid setup for soapy sapphic goodness, and it delivers on that promise mostly well with two attractive leads. Having said that, I sometimes felt like the show was fanfic written by a 14-year-old, and that is a good and a bad thing. Good because it marinates itself nicely in all the things that make fanfic fun to read. You know, the emotionality, the slow burn, the build-up of tension to get the two together using tropes we will probably never get tired of seeing, like how the two are repeatedly getting all up and close and personal numerous times within days of meeting each other as a way to build the tension, even if it was completely contrived. And for sure, a lot of the writing felt contrived. Some writing felt awkward, at least to me. Moments like when the whole company is at the sushi restaurant and Sam puts some sashimi on Mon's plate and tells her to eat it, claiming it's so she can get the omega-3 she needs to better work for her. It felt like an odd public sort of overstepping of professional boundaries, which pulled me out of the storytelling. It didn't feel natural, but rather a forced way to show that Sam is already favoring Mon. Moments like that and others, such as their emoji texting, while cute, seemed kind of, juvenile, like the sort of thing 18-year-olds would do, and not two professional women, of which one is a CEO and about to hit 30. Same goes for the whole shtick of Sam saying the opposite of what she means. That felt odd. And then there was the churlish behaviour that Sam exhibited that would have a direct negative impact on her company, like firing Mon, when she claims to want to make it successful as a way to get out of her marriage to Kirk. It resulted in some uneven storytelling that required me to put aside expectations of characters acting in a way that felt realistic. I think this wasn't helped by the acting, which wasn't particularly strong either. It was pretty wooden across the board, and more skillful and natural performances from the leads would have elevated the uneven writing and made the emotional through line flow better. What the leads do have, however, is great chemistry, and there are moments that stood out to lift the overall story and did much to soften the weaker elements, which I'll talk about later. It's a fun, easy watch. It's also incredibly gay in a way that has both surprised and delighted me. From the very first scene, it declares how very, very gay it is when Mon fantasizes that she gets to dance on stage with Sam. There is absolutely no ambiguity about what story they're going to tell. This poster here really says it all. Having never watched a Thai series before, I'm quite ignorant of how queerness in Thai media is treated, about what woman love woman characters exist in Thai film and TV, or even how being gay is treated in Thai society, so I don't know if Gap the series is an anomaly or not. I would guess, based off the fact that I've never heard of any other Woman Love Woman shows, and it is on at 10:30 at night, despite an aesthetic that seems geared more towards teen and young adults, that the show is pretty unique and a risque take on the genre. I would also guess that the series is pretty formulaic and that it's modelled on other successful heterosexual love stories on Thai soaps, which is perhaps why I get the feeling that Lady Sam's character has been written as the typical male soap love interest and the gender was swapped. So you know the type, the handsome, rich, entitled guy with broody tendencies who falls for the average nobody girl to sweep her off her feet, despite having behaviours that would be a total red flag for me, but is somehow framed as being eccentric and mysterious. This thought occurred to me a few times when Sam was being particularly broody or not treating Mon very well, and I was wondering why Mon wasn't running for the hills. But at the same time, I kind of liked that Sam was a bit of a dick, because let's not have overly perfect, sanitized sapphic characters, let them be problematic. And problematic she was. As a boss, she's mean, temperamental, and demanding. I guess because she comes from royalty and money and this company is basically a pet project, she can be as unprofessional as she is. But it did have me wondering about Thai employment laws because damn, she was savage. That was, of course, until I reminded myself that this show is not about realism. So, employment laws? What employment laws? No, this show is all about the melodrama. It's ruled by emotions. Logic must be put on pause. This is why Sam fires Mon rather than talking to her and saying, hey, I want to date you, but I have a work policy about not fraternizing with employees. Let's figure this out. That would have undercut all the drama, even if it would have been a far more logical and adult way to approach things. If Sam was written as a female version of a male soap protagonist, Mon was most definitely not. She fits quite easily into the female soap protagonist archetype. She comes across as more passive, sweet-natured, and high femme. I mean, Sam is high femme too, but in a power suit I'll pin you to the wall kind of way. Mon is not problematic in the way Sam is. She rather serves as the Belle to Sam's Edward. She's framed as no one special, just an average girl. It even says that in the lyrics of the title song. This plays into the Mary Sue fantasy wish fulfillment aspect of the show, having a gorgeous, powerful, rich woman fall for the average, and I put this in inverted commas because Mon is not average, lead to be whisked away in romance. Of course she's not average. She's clearly very smart, worked very hard, and succeeded in her studies. She appears to be something of a social media guru, growing a seemingly improbable 500k following in 1 month for the company. She has a secret talent for singing. I don't know anything about any Thai class system or the working, middle, and upper class divides, but she is explicitly called poor by Sam despite appearing to be well off. She's immaculate in her style, never a hair out of place, and with the knowledge that Thailand is one of the biggest markets for skin lightening treatments in the world, being half British, she is so fair that she's initially assumed to be white by her colleagues. This plays into narratives around colorism, something that I'm not in a position to speak of very knowledgeably, but I did just watch an excellent video by YouTuber Khadija who delves into it, and I highly recommend checking it out. Link in the description. What I like about Mon is that for all that she appears more passive, she is in fact very driven, tenacious, and has a real backbone to her. It's this that gets Mon's attention when she is challenged in the workplace. She's a bit of a power bottom with how she pushes back on some of Sam's behaviors and stands up for herself. And it's this that makes the duo work for me, especially since the power dynamic means Sam has the upper hand in all areas, as the employer in terms of wealth with her royal title and the 8-year age gap. Don't we sapphics just love a good power dynamic like that? Logic is not the show's strong point, but it does know how to do the slow burn, and the love scene in episode 8 was totally surprising. Go Thailand! I'll touch on that in a moment, but first I want to talk about some things that delighted me about the show. Mon's work colleagues were clearly designed to be light-hearted fun, and after finding them a bit jarring at first, my feelings have softened. They're largely there for some light-hearted comedic relief. Since I'm mentioning work colleagues, I wanted to ask you all about Aunt Me. I'm curious to contextualize her character better. She's framed as a harmless, motherly gossip. No mentions are made about her being trans or not, but I'm wondering if any of you know anything about the character or the actor, such as if this kind of character is common on Thai shows, or if this show is offering further diversity. I wasn't quite sure what to make of her and her over-the-top character. Speaking of diversity, Sam's friends were also a fun and supportive bunch. It's them, in fact, that made my opinion of Sam soften, because such a good-natured bunch wouldn't be friends with her if she was really as irredeemable as she appears in the first few episodes. I was amused at how Sam's friends adopted Mon as their project and set about discovering how she feels about Sam, and not so subtly cheerleading them to get together. Jim's enthusiasm at them sleeping together especially tickled me with her wholesale enthusiasm. It was delightful. It's immediately clear that her friend T is out and proud and successful with the ladies, which I approve of. I also heartily approve of the fact that she and Mon's best friend Yuki appear to get into a relationship, and absolutely no dialogue alludes to this, but I couldn't help noticing how they framed them together. T had her arm around Yuki's chair, or how they're clearly in the same bedroom when Sam and Mon phoned them for sex advice that clearly involved both providing tips on how Mon and Sam should go down on each other and that they should get rid of their nails. Oh my god, those nails were giving me the heebie-jeebies. I wasn't expecting such overt references to what ladies get up to in the boudoir, but I'm here for it. Getting Mon and Sam to the moment where they were ready to sleep together involved some at times excellently done and sometimes deeply frustrating slow burn techniques. Some things felt odd, like the fact that they, when they officially became a couple, went on a shopping spree instead of, kissing. The whole watching two lions mate and Sam trying and failing to communicate what she wanted was pretty cringy. So by the time we get to the blood nose, I was feeling a bit exasperated with all of these stalling techniques. There were some really well done moments. I don't know about you all, but the whole nose bite, lip bite thing, well, a weirdly intimate thing to do at that point in the story, definitely worked at ramping up the sexual tension. And you all, I was so surprised when they did finally sleep together that we didn't just get some sexy prelude with a fade to black. No, we were taken along for the whole ride. The whole ride. Then we got to see them chatting after, which was super cute. This is where I felt the actors shone the best because it felt genuine and natural. I was honestly not expecting all that, certainly not from a Thai show, which I guess shows my ignorance of what is permissible on Thai TV. It was really tastefully done too. It didn't feel gratuitous and made narrative sense for the show. So total kudos to the whole production team on that. So, a show that has shortcomings, but one that I've enjoyed nonetheless, because in the end, it's not about what is considered good by some critic, but by what moves you, what captures your imagination. Despite my criticisms, I enjoyed the show. I'm even invested in seeing what happens next. While this show hasn't gotten me in the way other soaps and telenovelas have in the past, it's still a delightful find, and I will watch to the end of the season for sure. Please share your thoughts on Gap, the series, in the comments, check out my other videos, and until next time, lady lovers.